Hello, guys. So, in few minutes, we will start the session. Before that, let me test everything. And today is the shortest session because I am not going into the great length of details. Okay. So let just first let me test everything whether it's working or not, and then we can start. अरे अभी चालू नहीं हुआ है रिश्यूम. हाँ मैं चालू कर दिया है. Details. So let just first let me test everything whether it's working or
मग
not,
आपण कसं
and then we can
डिफाईन
start.
करतो त्याच्यातून की हा पॅटर्न हा यूज करायचा हा पॅटर्न हा यूज
हे असं असं
करायचा
असं दाब दाब दाब
पूर्णच चालू होते
कोणता एकदा मस्त आहे ना.
थोडासा हात टाकून किंवा काडी वर करशील
हम्म.
सेलिब्रेट
हम्म. मस्त आहे. थांब 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 आता सायलेंट करू दे त्याला. हातानं अजून काय असंच ते आपलं काम बेहतरीन आहे. हम्म. Okay, everything will wait for 2 to 3 minutes and then we can start. What's the plan for today? Like, I will give you the proof. I will give you the proof itself and few other books also. Like, I have planned to give it in Hindi and English also. So, we will discuss over here everything. Because our topic is about that there is no such thing as soul. Okay, it's all between body and mind. Entire being is about body and mind, and I will explain it to you in great depth. And another thing, that I will not discuss my personal meditative experience over here. Okay, guys, because if I go into that depth, you have to understand that you have not reached till that level to understand. Because if I tell you something that this is happiness and this is joy, you will not able to understand until you don't have that experience in yourself. So I just discarded my own personal experiences with it. So we will just go through Buddha discourses about no soul, and apart from that, I will give some of the screenshots after when this everything will be our planned out event. This today's wisdom talk is over. After that, I will prepare a PDF where I will paste this entire discourses, what we can say, pages in that PDF itself. And side by side, I will give you the notes over there that these are the proof and this is the thing in Hindi and English both. Today, I will include both. So it will be very helpful for you because entire thing is about mind and body itself. There is no such thing as soul or something. So people are like misguided and we can say in the dilemma, we can say in the dilemma, confusion, or what has been conditioned for them throughout their lifetime. That's why they think that there is something like soul or something is there. Nothing is like that. Even if I meditate, still now I haven't seen anything like that. So I don't want to go into my own personal experiences, guys. So we will discuss only Buddha discourses. For screenshots, I will provide it with the Buddha discourses where he told about how there is no kind of thing such as soul. I will pick the two discourses. One discourse is about how you take the birth, which in which Buddha tell how you take the birth, because people generally get misguided that birth is happening, it is because of the soul, nothing like that. So I will pick that one. And another where he is explaining to some Brahmin uh, some kind of aesthetic about this thing, that there is no such thing as souls. So let's just wait for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we will start our session. It's a short session today. I'm not going into the depth of the entire discourse today. Okay, guys, we'll go into the heavenly bodies and all those things. That's a, right now it's a crap for us, because we, until we don't realize that thing, means what we don't realize that truth. If we have read in the book, if we are not experiencing that truth, then this kind of talk is useless for me. Okay, that's why I will not talk about the heavenly bodies and hungry ghost and all those things. That are, they are having body, they are not spirit or soul something, you have to understand. Because of their what we can say, karma, we say it as karma in Hindi and Pali also. It is because of their accumulation of good deeds and bad deeds, we can say, merit and demerits. That's why they get that kind of body. Okay, so there is no such thing as soul or something. So let's just take 2 minutes quick break, and then we can start our session. Short session today it's a short session. We will try to summarize as soon as possible in half an hour, 45 minutes, or 1 hour maximum. So just hold on for 2 more minutes, and then we can start. बोल. Okay, guys. So we can start now. So first discourse is, it's a short discourse about the Buddha. So here, Yakha, the name of the guy is the Yakha. Okay, so he comes. It's like a haunted. He has got the haunted body. So the yakka comes to the Buddha and asks about these things. Okay, so where you have to see the beauty. At that time, you were not having this all sonography machines and all those time. Still, Buddha know how the birth is happening inside. How the birth is happening. Just wait for a second. So, how the birth is happening inside the womb. That's how the Buddha know about it. So that's the beauty. All this machinery, he was knowing all those things. Just wait for a second. Okay. Okay. So let's just start with this discourse. It's a short one. I can read it. Within 10 minutes, you will get it. So here you have to understand. Thus have I heard. Every Buddha discourse start with thus have I heard, because these were the 500 liberated monks who went into the Sattapani caves and recited entire what the discourses Buddha has given. So here he has started, and here he is reading. On one occasion, the blessed one was dwelling in Rajagaha on Mount Indas Peak. Okay, the haunt of the Yakha Indaka. Okay, then the Yakha Indaka approached the blessed one and addressed him in verse. The Yakha approached the Buddha, and in verse he said something to ask a question. This is the way they used to ask the question in verses. So here he asked, as the Buddha say, you have to see at these words. Okay, try to focus on every word and you will get the very good thing, that how he know about the birth and how this birth is happening in the mother's womb, how the conception is happening. Entire thing he will going to explain with this yakha verse. So as the Buddha say, that form is not the soul, that the form is not the soul, how then does one obtain this body? Okay, how then does one obtain this body? From where do one's bones and liver come? Okay, how is one begotten in the womb? Okay, how is one begotten in the womb? So this was the question asked by the yakha. Now the Buddha is replying. He is replying in the verse itself, but he is going to explain the entire process, how this is happening. Okay, so how he is explained. So Buddha says, first there is the Kalala. Kalala is a Pali word, okay, and the Kalala has different meaning. So the basic meaning of Kalala is muddy, something as muddy and what sticky, oily kind of substance. So he explains that there is something muddy and sticky kind of substance. First, this is the one, okay. First, there is Kalala, and from Kalala comes the Abuddha. What is the Abuddha? Abuddha happens. You have to understand the Abuddha means what we say, piling of the what all merits and demerits you have. Still, body is not formed. Okay, from this muddy and greasy, oily things. Next is the what is happening here. You have to understand. Now the mind is getting prepared. Actually, in the process, mind is getting prepared. So here, your what all the in the cycle you have collected, that merits and demerits are due to your good deeds and bad deeds, that is happening in the next process. After Kalala, this Abuddha is happening. So in the Abuddha phase, what is the Abuddha? Word Abuddha over means here piling of the things. Okay. So here, when we say Dukkha Samudaya, what is we say mountains of suffering has been collected. That is happening over here right now after Kalala phase. Okay. Samudaya is happening like piling up of mountains. Now after what happens? From the Abuddha, the Pesi is produced. What is the Pesi? Now that amalgamation of mass is happening, little bit of skin is getting developed. This is the third part of it. First the Kalala comes, then the Abuddha comes, and after that Pesi. Pesi means entire. It's a Pali word. So this Pesi happens means the what we can say, formation of mass is happening. formation of mass is happening over here, and what is skin is getting developed means like a loath of what we can say, loath of meat kind of thing. Actually the word is not proper, but our body initial start happening in this pacey phase. Okay, now you get it. After the samudaya of this all merits and demerits of the things has happened, then pacey is created, that your mass is getting created, the meat is like your skin is getting prepared over there. Okay, from pacey the ghana arises. Okay, that mass is now arising. Okay, it is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, like forming of fetus is now happening, started happening. Okay, first the initial mass had happened, now that is getting bigger with ghana. Okay, it is getting gross. Okay, so from the ghana emerges limbs. First limbs get emerges. Okay, then the head hair, body hair, and nails. Okay, and whatever food the mother eats, now what happens, the whatever food the mother eats, the meals and drink that she consume, by this the being is there maintained. Now it is getting maintained with whatever food the mother is eating. Okay, the person in now that that baby is getting formed inside the mother's womb. This was the first discourse where he explained. There are various discourses where he tried to explain that there is no such concept, but I picked two, mainly two, because this conception, because this conception, how birth is getting, there you get the clear idea whether soul is present or not in you. I can explain you that part also. Then what is getting transferred, how this transfer is happening. Okay, how you are getting body, that I can explain it to you. But right now it's not the time. Okay, ahead, in few months ahead, I am going to explain that process also to you guys. So you just have to keep patience. Right now we are focusing that there is no soul. This wisdom talk is about no soul. So I explained to you how the birth is happening. Buddha was knowing at that time itself without sonography machines. Okay, we here have to know how the fetus is getting inside the womb, and everything we use machines, various machines, to know about all the things happening inside the womb. But Buddha was knowing because of his wisdom and his knowledge. That's the beauty of being enlightened person. So here we have finished this discourse. Now I will go to the second discourse where he is going to explain about that there is no soul. Now we go into the higher concept of it. I will not discuss the entire heavenly bodies and all those things in the discourse. I will read only that part where he's trying to explain you about the that there is no such thing as soul exist. Okay, there is no such thing exist as soul. I have 5 to 6 discourses of Buddha, but I picked only two for you guys. And third, I will give you the proof from there is a book in Hindi and English also. It's a very famous kind of debatical book, like explaining the concepts of the Buddha itself. How the liberated one, like the going on the path of the Buddha, the liberated one understand these things that there is no soul. The book name is Milind Prashna. Okay, uh, questionnaire of the King Milinder. It he was from the like. Alexander the Great. From there, this chain started about the Milinder, King Milinder. In English, it is said as Milinder. So from that, I will pick the Hindi verse, and I have that English verse also. I will try to put that thing in English also for you guys, because I have copy of both in English and Hindi, that book. So I will paste in the PDF. So let's just get to the next discourse of the Buddha. It's from the long discourses. The next, this is from the short discourses, okay, which I read to you. It's the page number 306, Yakha Samyukta. We said Yakha Samyukta, this discourse which I have read right now. Now we will go to the long discourses, Digha Nikaya. Okay, that is the discourse number 6. Mahali Sutta. It is said as Mahali Sutta. So I will go into the last part of it because it's important to know about the last part of it. What is the last part of it? Where he is discussing that there is no such thing as soul. Okay, because we are interested in that part only. Rest of the things we don't need to know right now. Okay, ahead I'm going to explain you everything. Don't worry about it. That time I will pick one more discourse from another book. Okay, and then I will explain it to you. The entire process of this cycle of birth is happening. I will explain it to you how this is happening also, with the merits and demerits, everything I am going to explain. So right now don't focus on that. Right now we are here to understand the truth that there is no such thing as soul. Even I would have explained it to you with my own personal experiences, but right now you are not at that stage to understand, because basically you right now don't understand the differentiation between happiness and joy itself. So how can you make you understand those things which are the personal experiences? That's why I thought, like, I will pick the books, I will explain it to you in the Buddha words itself. Okay, and in the words of Bhikkhu Nagsen. Okay, that Milind Prashna, which the questionnaire of Milinder, King Milinder. Okay, so I will give that proof to you in the POA. Let's just go to the Mahali Sutta, the Sutta number 6. It's a discourse number 6 of Buddha, long discourses, Digha Nikaya. Okay, so we will go into the 14th number, paragraph number 14. Here he is asking this guy, okay, Lachiva, his name is Lachiva. So he is asking, so we will just dig into this. Mahali, to this guy Mahali, the Buddha is explaining. So he's asking, he addressed the Buddha with Lord, is there a path, is there a method for realization of these things, of this heavenly bodies and all those things, that they are the body itself, there is no such thing as soul concept over here. So he's asking, so there is a then Buddha says, there is a path, Mahali, there is a method. Okay, and Lord, what is that path? Now Mahali again asks, what is that path? What is this method? He's asking. So Buddha tells, it is the Noble Eightfold Path, namely right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Okay, guys, this is the path, and this is the way to realization of these things. Only when you follow this path, then only you will come to conclusion. You will understand that there is no such thing as souls, and that heavenly bodies are actually having that body. They are not any spirits or something the people have, like what we can say, wrong belief in themselves. Okay, that there is soul, holy spirits, all such thing is crap, guys. Okay, so let's just go into next what Mahali is saying. Once Mahali I was staying, now Buddha is explaining, once Mahali I was staying in Kosambi, in the Ghosita Park, and two wanderers, okay, two wanderers, the people who were roaming here, nomad people, we can say wanderers as nomadic peoples, who don't have home and they just roam here and there and eat whatever they want, how they want to live, as like now these people are doing couch surfing kind of thing. That is the new concept. It was already present in our old society itself. Right now they are doing with the technology. That's the only the difference. Human has never changed its behavior from the past till now. Only what has happened, comfort level has increased, and what technology has been introduced. Still the humans have same tendency throughout ages. Okay, guys, so you have to understand in this way. So two wanderers or nomadic people, Mandisa and Jalia, the people of wooden bowl aesthetic, came to me, exchange courtesies, exchanged courtesies with me, and sat down to one side. Then they said, what they said? How is it, friend Gautama? Is the soul? Now understand their question. Okay, these two aesthetic are asking question to Gautama. Friend Gautama, is the soul the same as the body, or is the soul one thing and the body another thing? because only there are two questions which come into the mind. Is, you have to understand, people say na, you are not the body but you are soul. So in this question he has, when these two aesthetic are asking question, they have framed all the questions related to soul. Is the soul as the body? First question what they are asked. Okay, how is the is it, friend Gautama, is the soul same as the body? This body and the soul is the same, or is the soul one thing? That soul is separate. When they tell, when they try to teach you this yogic meditation practice also, they try to induce this concept itself. Na, there is a self, infinite self which never dies, and all those things are crap, totally crap things. Okay, guys, you have to understand that is totally crap. In entire statement, he is saying, is the soul the same as the body, or the soul one thing and the body another thing? Body is different and soul is different. He has framed both the questions. Na? When they say that there is an infinite soul which never dies, you got this question over here. Okay, in the question itself, he has asked. Okay. Well, now, friends, now Buddha says, well, now, friends, you listen, pay proper attention. You also should pay proper attention now to the words to understand that there is no such thing as soul, and you have to work on your own salvation to get all those things. And forget about this thing and believe that you are carrying conditioned from childhood that there is something as soul. Okay, go into mindfulness meditation and realize yourself that there is no such thing as soul. Okay, so let's just focus our attention on the Buddha's word right now. Okay, pay proper attention and I will explain. Yes, friend, they said, and I went on. Now the both aesthetic wanderers, nomadic people said that, tell us. Okay, friends, a Tathagata arises in the world. Tathagata, why he is called as Tathagata? Buddha is called Tathagata because on the path of truth he went and reached to that highest stage. Okay, that's why he is called Tathagata. Tathagata, the seeker of truth and knower of the truth, is called as Tathagata. The Tathagata arises in the world, an Arhat. It's not Arhant, it's a Arhat. Original word is Arhat, where Ari means enemies. Who kills his enemies? What are the enemies? Your old own defilements are the enemies. Here he is not going to slay someone and cut. That is the violence. First rule and first precept, we don't go for violence at all. That's now the things happen. So an arhat. Arhat means fully liberated, fully enlightened Buddha. Okay, next line. Fully enlightened Buddha, endowed with wisdom and conduct, fairer, knower of the worlds, not this world, entire. When Buddha got enlightened, he was knowing about 20,000 world systems. Okay, knower of the world, incomparable trainer of men to be tamed. He cannot be tamed. He is incomparable. You cannot compare with him. In any regards, you cannot compare with him. That's how the quality of Buddha is. Okay. He's a trainer. He's speaking on his own that I am a trainer which is incomparable. You cannot compare with me, guys. Okay, teacher of gods and human. Here the gods, what they are referring as gods. Gods are the celestial bodies. Means these are because of their good merits, they got that body, that kind of body. Okay. So you don't have to think that there are some kind of people, God, and they you will worship and you will get something. That's all are crap thing. Only your deeds are the things. If you do good deeds, you will get that body. So they are not special, guys. Actually humans are very special because they get this opportunity doing this meditation and everything to get liberated. They don't have this privilege because these gods and deities, they should be jealous of us. Okay, guys, because we have that privilege that we have this body that we can liberate ourselves from this entire cycle. Whether you become god because of your good deed, and after getting expire those good deeds, you are going to die and then fall back to this animal realms and all those hungry ghost realms. Okay, where you will get that kind of body. So you have to end up cycle, and that happens through human body itself, guys. Okay, so you are privileged one. So you should think yourself ahead of all those things. That's why I tell you that you will get nothing. That God concept is crap. All things are crap. Okay, so now he's explaining, teacher of gods and human, enlightened and blessed. Okay, he having realized by his own super knowledge proclaims this world with devas, maras and brahmas, all three. Okay, highest one can get is formless bodies of brahmas, if your merits are so high. Okay, uh, so it's princes and people. He preaches the dhamma. Dhamma means nature, laws of nature. He's teaching laws of nature. At that time dhamma was known as the laws of nature, which is lovely in the beginning. So he's teaching the laws of nature, which is lovely in the beginning, lovely in the middle, and lovely in its ending itself. Okay, in the spirit, in the letter, and displays fully perfected and purified holy life. Okay, now it start. Now the main part start. First he has addressed himself, why he's teaching, why he knows all those things. Before he has to tell them how he is knowing all those things. So some certainly the questioner must understand how he is knowing, because he has gone through that entire knowledge. That's why he is telling in this entire paragraph who he is. That's he knows the truth. Okay, now he start. A disciple a disciple goes forth and practices the moralities means the precept we are going to take, like non-violence. We are not going to kill anybody, we are not going to harm anybody. That's the first precept. Like we are not going to lie. Second precept, we are not going to what we can say, intoxicate our body with any kind of things. All those are precepts. Okay, on the account of morality he sees no danger anywhere. Once you start practicing morality, you will find that there is no danger anywhere. Okay, he experiences himself the blameless bliss that comes from maintaining this aryan morality. Okay, noble, aryan means noble morality. In this way he is perfected in morality. Once the morality is perfected, and I told you earlier in my one of many of my posts in the LinkedIn and etc., that how you, when you reach the perfection of morality, it's the first stage of the enlightenment. There are four stages. We call it as stream enterer. Okay, where all your precept, all this morality get perfected. That you are still moralities are not perfect. Even if you think I am not speaking lie, all those things, that is not perfect. You cannot say it perfect until it get to the first stage of enlightenment. There are four stages of such enlightenment over there. Okay, guys. So still I am also cannot say that I am perfect in morality. I have explained it there also, guys. So nobody can say there that their morality has been perfected till that first stage of enlightenment happens. Stream enterer. Okay, it is as if he is freed from debt, from sickness, from bonds, from slavery, from perils. Perils means again danger of desert. Being thus detached from sense desire. Sense desire. What are the senses? Taste, smell, hearing, seeing, touch, all this sense. He's detached from all sense desire, from unwholesome states. What are unwholesome states? Anger, hatred, ill will, all these are unwholesome states. Okay, when he's detached from sense desire, when he's detached from unwholesome state, he enters and remains in first jhana. Now he enters. Okay, he's telling you through the experiences itself, guys. Okay, that's why I told you I will never explain it through my own experiences, because right now you don't understand happiness and joy. Okay, so he's telling you through the meditation how he knows about that there is no soul. So he's detached from sense desire, he's detached from unwholesome states, he enters and remains in the first jhana. So suffices, drenches, fills and irradiates his body, that there is no spot is in entire body that is untouched by this delight, and joy born of detachment. Okay, in the first stage of this jahanic experiences, what happens? There is what we say applied thought, sustained thought, which I have explained in the last video itself. Applied thought, sustained thoughts, this happiness, joy, which is bliss, ecstasy, ecstasy, we say it as bliss, joy, and happiness. And the fifth part is what? Concentration. These are the five factors of the first jhana itself. So this all things are there and joy born out of this detachment. Now one knows after this first jhanic state, one knows what one knows. Now one knows who thus knows and thus sees. Okay, now of one who has entered this jhanic state, who thus knows and thus sees, is it proper to say the soul is the same as the body or the soul is different from the body? He entered the first stage. Now he is questioning in the first stage itself whether the soul is the same as the body or the soul is different from the body. It is not, friend. Both the concept are wrong. It is not, friend. But I thus know and see. I do not say the soul is either same or different from the body. Okay. I do not say. Why he do not say? Because he is not seeing any soul over there, guys. So I do not say. He's telling, I do not say that there is a soul either in the body or means either same as the body or either different from the body. Okay, there is no such thing. And then he reached with the second stage of jhanic, third stage means second stage of meditation, absorption meditation, third stage of meditation. He is realizing in every stage that there is no such thing as soul. And the fourth stage of jhanic, he realizes again that there is no such thing. Now again when he reached to the fourth stage, now he's telling, Buddha is telling, you have to understand this paragraph very importantly. Now he is very much focused and telling that there is no soul, this entire paragraph. The mind bends and tend towards the knowledge. Now after fourth jhanic stage, fourth absorption meditative state, he's saying the mind bends and tend towards knowledge. Now the knowledge is coming and vision arises. Now the vision is also coming. Now one who thus knows and thus sees, is it proper to say the soul is the same as the body or the soul is the different from the body? It is not, friend. It is not, friend. Both the concept is wrong. He is now realizing, he's showing through the entire meditation itself that there is no such thing as soul. The soul is same as the body or soul is different from the body. Nothing is there. Nothing such thing is. When he looks through the mind, okay, he looks through the mind, knowledge arises, he knows. We'll go into the questionnaire of the Millender, King Millender also. There also that Bhante Arhat means liberated monk Naksen is telling that there is no such concept as soul, spirit, something. Atma Vatma in Hindi, they call it as. It is not, friend. He knows after going into the fourth stage of meditation, he's now confirmed. After fourth stage, now he's confirmed. That's why I was telling that I will not go into my first meditative state experience itself. Okay, because after fourth stage I will can say with confirmation that truth on my own as per the book itself. So I have to reach till the fourth stage, then I can say these things with confirmation. Okay, guys. Apart from that, I know this thing that there is no such thing as soul in the first stage itself. But right now, I will not say. I will go entirely to that stage and then I will explain it to you. Okay, my experiences also. So he knows after this, he knows there is nothing further here. He knows after fourth stage, he knows there is nothing further here. Now, of one who thus knows and thus sees, is it proper to say the soul is the same as the body or the soul is different from the body? It is not, friend. He knows, now he knows that it is not reality that soul is same as the body or soul is different from the body. Entire concept he has disregarded over here, guys. You have to understand but I does know and see, and I do not say that the soul is either the same or the different from the body. In the both question, he has ultimately discarded the entire concept of soul itself. From entire paragraphs, you know right now that there is no such thing as soul. Again and again, he is telling that I do not say so, that there is something soul as the body or soul is different from the body. There is no such thing as soul. Okay. These are the two discourses Buddha has explained. Now we will go into the Millen questionnaire of the King Millender at that time. Okay. So this liberated monk Nagsen is telling, this is I'm reading it from the Hindi, what we say Hindi book. I will convert that, translate it in English, and then afterwards in PDF I will paste those proof to you guys. Okay, just 5 more minutes. Okay, we will go into the 5 more minutes over here. So it's in the page number where this questionnaire start. I will tell you. Just wait for a second, guys. It's a 23 part. Okay, 23 part, page number 104. Okay, where he's asking, the king मिलेंडर is asking, हम लोगों के भीतर कोई आत्मा है या नहीं है, ये बताएं. Means the king is asking to this monk, liberated monk Nagsen, whether inside our body is there any soul or not. Now the entire questionnaire is happening with the King Millender. He's asking several questions to clear his doubt whether there is some soul or not. I will not go into the entire this debating conversation between King Millender, and because I will read the last part of it, last paragraph, where he confirmed, this liberated monk Nang Sen confirmed that there is no such thing as soul. So this 23 questionnaire number, first part of the book, page number 104, when he is asking whether there is soul or not inside our body. So I will read the final paragraph of it where he confirms. Okay, the liberated monk Nagsen confirms that there is no such thing as soul over here. So he says, how he is explaining, now you understand that our entire being is about mind and body, nothing such thing as soul over here. So he uh, uh, explained, Maharaj means king. King, चक्षु और रूप के होने से चक्षु विज्ञान उत्पन्न होता है. चक्षु मीन्स आई and roop means forms, different kind of forms. So I and forms, when they collaborate, when they these two things collaborate, I consciousness is born. Okay, and from this entire, from scene, from this vision itself, he is trying to explain. Okay, this I consciousness is born, उसके उत्पन्न होने से, किसके उत्पन्न होने से, विज्ञान. विज्ञान means consciousness. It was in Pali Vinyan. I already told you Vinyan means consciousness, that converted into Vigyan, which is consciousness of this Hinduism, Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, and that now converted into Vigyan, which is science. Science means knowing, knowledge. So how these words have been corrupted. So after this consciousness is born, उसके उत्पन्न होने से के साथ स्पर्श वेदना उत्पन्न होती है. व्हाट इज वेदना? फीलिंग्स, फीलिंग्स ऑफ प्लेजर, पेन, एक्सेट्रा. ओके, and from that feeling, what happens? Sangya, chetana, or ekagrata, means these three get born out of it. What three? What three? This three: chetana, sangya, and ekagrata, we known as, it is known as concentration, okay, perception. All these things are getting born out of it, okay. इसी तरह दूसरी इंद्रियों के साथ भी सेम, इसी तरह दूसरी इंद्रियों के साथ भी समानता होनी, समझ लेना चाहिए, ओके. Means he tried to explain with only eyes. Same will happen with olfactory. Olfactory means our nose, smelling, okay. Same with ears, same with tongue, same with our skin, touch senses. Same thing is happening with everything. So entire this things are happening is the mutual concord, what we can say, mutual reactivity, interaction, okay, interaction between mind and body is happening. Mind and body, we can say materiality, okay. Mind and materiality interaction is happening, and this all things are happening. So again in the next line he says, ये धर्म एक दूसरे के होने से उत्पन्न होते हैं. Now this natural things are, which I told you, okay. This natural phenomena is happening because of interconnectivity and interaction between all those things, okay. He's explaining. So now you understand, it is happening between mind and materiality, nothing is there. And in the last line, now he's saying, in the last line what he's saying, कोई जानने वाला ज्ञाता आत्मा नहीं है, okay. In the last line he said, कोई जानने वाला equal to ज्ञाता आत्मा नहीं है, okay. There is no such thing as knower, observer, or soul inside of you. In this statement he has explained. To explain this entire thing, he has used what? Your five senses: seeing sense with eye consciousness, smelling sense with nose consciousness, hearing sense with ear consciousness, tongue consciousness with taste, okay, touch sense with your skin. So these five senses, apart from there, he tried to explain that these are interactivity between mind and materiality, and apart from this, there is no such thing as knower or the soul. Okay, in the last statement, he has made it very clear about these things. So now, guys, I have tried to bring three different material to you from the Buddha discourses, and apart from that, after 2 to 300 years, this is the questionnaire happening between King Millender. He was the successor, or we can say related to Alexander the Great, okay. King Millender. So this discussion is happening between King Millender and this liberated monk Naksen. So he also made the same thing clear, that there is no such thing as soul. Okay, guys. So now you understand very clearly. Now I will give you the PDF after this discussion. Maybe tonight. Okay, tonight we are going to celebrate at 12 o'clock my teacher's birthday, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar birthday, which is we have got the holiday tomorrow in India. So I am going over there. That's why. So tonight I will not give you that PDF. Tomorrow I will give it you the entire PDF of both Buddha discourses. If you want, I can just message me. I will provide you all 5 to 6 discourses about no soul, that there is no soul, and this entire Hindi paragraph of discussion between liberated monk Nangsen and King Millender discussion also I will provide, that there is no such thing as soul, only it is interaction happening between your mind and materiality, guys. Okay, be happy. Now you know the thing, and don't go into such beliefs that there is something Holy Spirit going to help you out. No, entire life is about your good deeds. If you do the good deeds, it will give you good result. And whatever, even if you are doing good deeds, something is coming out bad in front of you. That is, think of it as your old some kind of bad deeds remain, that result is coming out, and right now you are doing good deeds, like you have thrown the seed of bad deeds over the rock. So in future it will never happen. You will be entirely happy. That's the beauty of this thing. Once you do the mindful meditation, you will realize how much you are happy, that suffering is not able to touch you. You just know, okay, this circumstances catastrophe has come because of something in the past. Nothing in this world can make you suffer, guys. You have to understand, nothing in this world can make you suffer. Okay, mentally you will never suffer just because of mindfulness meditation. That's the power and the beauty of meditation, guys. No mental suffering, no stress, no anxiety, nothing will come, and you will be super happy like me. So we will end our discussion today here only. This was the wisdom talk I want to discuss, because I want to also get on to the path and go towards your happiness. You deserve happiness, guys. So be happy, start practicing meditation, and remove all your blind belief. Even if you want to keep your belief about God and soul is there, you want to believe that there is something as soul, keep that thing with you. Once you reach the first stage of meditation and go into the fourth stage of meditation, fourth absorption meditative state, then only you will able to discard this entire concept of soul. I am not saying that, I am saying Buddha is saying. Buddha also teaches the same thing. Don't believe in my word itself. Go practice, reach that stage, and you will own on your own realize that there is no such thing as soul. I just tried to show you with the book. Why? Because at least it will develop some curiosity in these things, that somebody is saying that there is no soul, and I believe there is soul. Okay, I will go on this path and search for myself whether there is something as soul, because I have been conditioned for this since childhood that there is some kind of soul. Atma amar hai. Okay, you never dies. All those shitty crap is being taught to you, guys. So you will have that curiosity in yourself. Okay, they are telling that there is no soul. We have been taught that there is a soul, there is a God. God is going to help me out. Okay, I will go and search on my own. That's how we human are designed. We go and search. That's how our civilization has gone from that early Homo sapiens till now. We are on to the search. We search for truth, and then we realize that thing. These are the things, and we have been wasted entire time. Okay, so be happy. I'm not saying that you don't believe now that there is soul or no soul. It totally upon you. At least I developed that curiosity in you guys. Okay, so you go experiment and realize yourself that there is no such thing as soul. Okay, then you will become an atheist like me. Okay, go and meditate. Be happy, and I'm what we can say, going tonight for the celebration. So I will give you this PDF tomorrow. Okay, guys, be happy and practice mindfulness. It is better for you.